Hello, folks. Psychotic comedian on board here today. I thought that I'd come back, so because it's been about 3 months. So, as always, I'm glad to see you. And anyway, enough with the details. Let's start with the show, shall we? He says, what do you call a person who doesn't like to fart in public? That'd be a private tutor, wouldn't it? All right. I got a question for you, UPTV. Why is it that I'm always, when I'm in the bathtub figuring things out, the phone rings? Ethan, would that be Murphy's Law in action? Murphy's Law of bathing? All right. Well, when I was 16 years old, that's a long time ago. I'm going to be 48, a 48-year-old man next month. And I still think I'm feeling pretty good these days, I guess. But anyway, I was 16 years old, and I was kind of a horny little devil in sophomore class. And the principal really didn't know what to do with me. So he sent me to summer camp for horny little devils, I suppose. Anyway, I was there 2 weeks into the stay, and I had a couple eyes on a couple camp counselors. One was Kim, and the other was Kimberly and Jennifer. Them being 16, them being 32 or 35, made them older women. Ethan, how about that? Well, I wanted to catch their attention one day, so I dropped my Twinkie, and they come running over here and go, "Aren't we a klutz, my young laddie, Paul?" I said, "I'm not a lad, I'm a man." And they go, "Well, but what makes you so sure of that?" I said, "This." I dropped my trousers, revealing what then was a reasonable 6.5-inch cock, UPTV, and they go, "Well, we have seen bigger, and you're still growing." And then I slapped them on their ass. Now, why did you have to go and do a thing like that? Then I sent them back to the Rose Garden. I gave them both the ride of their lives, Ethan. Well, I think what you could really call the situation was I got my license to drive my first 2 cougars when I turned 16. License to drive? All right. I need to try to memorize this stuff. Oh, well. Anyway, UPTV, I was going for a run the other day. I'm up to run it. Well, it's a jog. But it was too hot. I'm up to about 3 miles a day, and one day I passed out, and I was in the emergency room. I'm going to go down a little bit, Ethan. I was in the emergency room, and I was pronounced dead. And then also the big boob nurse accidentally touched my crotch. Something came up, UPTV, and she goes, "Doctor, I think I've got something here." My voice is still bad, so I think I've got something here. And the doctor goes, "Nurse, this is strange. I'm starting to get a pulse." "What should I do, doctor?" I think you should give this guy a blowjob. How about that, Ethan? And he goes, "Isn't this against all ethics in the medical profession?" He goes, I know, just do it." So eventually she got my... I'm up to 8 inches now, I'm older. She got my 8 inches down, and the doctor goes, "Whoa, this guy's vitals are coming back. His eyes are wide open. Look at that greasy smile, baby." And then I rose up and sat up and sang my favorite song. I'll just sit here. And then the doctor congratulated me and goes, "Mr. Skinner, congratulations, you're a healthy, vital young man again." And I'm writing out a prescription. I said, "What for?" "I'm recommending you get sex all day, every day." How about that, Ethan? All right. Ron Jeremy was, he's always had slight case of narcolepsy, but he's always been too stubborn to go in and get treated for it. But anyway, here was actually a real thing, an interview that I saw of a guy doing with him when Ron was actually falling asleep. So we can do this. Hey, we're on today with adult film legend Ron Jeremy. My name's Jeff, the interviewer. Hey Ron, how you doing? Good, just good to be here. So let's start off, Ron. Have you ever had sex before? Yeah, well, probably a few times there. You know, you got to call the way. Ron, wake up. Oh. So, Ron, let me ask what everyone asked you before. How big is your dick? Well, it's a matter of personal conjecture. You know, some people. Ron, wake up. Oh. I'm sorry, I had the strangest dream that I was in the porn industry for going on 40 years. Isn't that wild? Ron, you have been in the industry for, oh, never mind. Hole in one. Okay. You are special, Ron. Well, I actually did teach special ed for 2 years. Folks, I think we'll wrap this up with Ron. Go home, get some rest. Okay. It's always a pleasure to have him stop by. He stops by quite often. So anyway, thank you, Ron. Thank you. And, okay, I'm going to be sitting down for this one too. Then I'll be standing up rest of the show. Seriously, when I was 21 years old, I met this girl, and we went out once, and she goes, well, you know, here's my number. Okay, well, next morning, next day, I call it, and Ethan, no one answers. I said, well, I guess, you know, she's not interested anymore. But the thing of it is, UPTV, she was playing hard to get for 30 years. And the next thing I know, a year ago, she's out west in some state mental hospital, and all she does all day is rocks back and forth. Oh, is that him? Is he calling? And the thing of it is, she has a rotary phone on her person, in her lap. Remember we used to have the rotary phones? That's it. Nurse shoots her, she goes back and forth. All right, man. I was showering with at a girls' gym that I used to go to with college gals, and soaping up with them and stuff. And I never got an erection. I was able to hold back there. And Melissa goes to Christy. She goes, now that's respect, isn't it, Ethan? All right. Okay. This might be... Well, this is going to play a little brain game. I'll go over it with you. You can figure it out. But part of it. But anyway, I finally got my nuts roasted. I mean, got my pecker waxed after a long dry spell. And Heather goes, after I got done with Heather, she says, "You're pretty good for a first timer, Paul." I go, I had high school raunchiness periods there. Heather, is that your name? It don't matter. Heather, and she goes, well, I've been with a lot of first timers, and you scored pretty well on the scale. Well, I'm thinking, since this girl's been around the block a few times, should I A, go back for seconds, Ethan, B, get checked for herpes, or C, be with women who want to be with an experienced man, since I've been since I've been around the block once or twice. But the answer is, there you get this. A is go for seconds, B is get checked for herpes, and C is to be with, have women be with me because of a bit of experience. Well, the answer is A, B, C, A, B, C, C, A, B. Did you get that? A, B, C, C, A, B. A, go back for seconds. B, get checked for herpes. C, be with man of experience. Then C, be with man of experience. A, go back for seconds, and then it don't matter. All right. I'm gonna wrap things up today, folks. Let's see. Yeah, that's that is show number 158. It's been a while since I've been. It's been about 3 months, so sometimes I say, well, I'm never coming back, but I did come back today. So I'd like to thank Ethan so much, who's still on board to this day. I'd like to thank him. Of course, the guys that have been around for a long time here, Jason Liggett and Jake Shoemaker. I'd like to thank you, my audience, who watches this on YouTube. And this is the Psychotic Comedian bidding you adieu. All right.